Lambert, I very much regret not being with you. This is a critical Congress, I know, and indeed your mandate, power to the people, is indeed the mandate of the global union movement. You know that the Berlin Congress of the ITUC mandated building workers' power. The only way we will do this is to organise, to organise, to organise and to organise. We need to be the representatives of working people everywhere, whether they're in the formal economy, as precarious as that is today, or whether they're working in the informal economy, the sector of desperation, or indeed some of those terrible situations like the 89 million brothers and sisters who have in the last 5 years experienced modern slavery. Wherever workers are, we need to be their voice, we need to aggregate their voice, to assume the power to demand that working people have fundamental rights, that their jobs are decent jobs, that decent work prevails. We know that too often we are seeing an economic model that has failed working people in play right around the world. We need to change the rules. 85% of the world's workers want us to rewrite the rules of the global economy. Indeed, when you think that the world is 3 times richer than it was 30 years ago, yet 84% of people say the minimum wage is not enough to live on, something is very wrong. Our global economic model has failed working people, and indeed your work, your campaigning will make the difference. But we've worked together with the BWI on many areas of interest. Your leadership within the Council of Global Unions on migrant workers. This is absolutely essential. And we will release this month our recruitment advisor, an electronic communications tool to connect migrant workers, to allow them to rate their agencies, to actually enable them to over time rate their employers, and of course to find out about rights in the country in which they're working or seeking to work. But we've also worked together on modern slavery. Our joint campaign to end the kafala system in Qatar has had a magnificent breakthrough. We will of course have to stay the distance and make sure that implementation is secured. But when a country that has deliberately based its development model on modern slavery agrees with us that they will eliminate the exit visa, they will set a non-discriminatory minimum wage on which people can live with dignity based on evidence, that they will indeed set up a compliant system, they'll end the dependence on employers for their residency permits, that the ILO will have an office there to take and monitor complaints, that we'll be able to see you and the other govs indeed sign agreements with Western companies in order to ensure equal treatment, and so much more. Your work on inspection of the stadiums, the technical agreement signed with the ILO that the BWI and the ITUC have fought for gives us a framework of justice for migrant workers. We'll see it through, but we can look forward to making sure that now the World Cup in Qatar is a workers' cup. It's a World Cup where workers' rights are respected. Hard work to go, but what a victory. And thank you to all of your delegates there who've actually participated in this campaign. It is a huge win for migrant workers. Now it's for Saudi and the UAE to follow Qatar's lead. There's no question that we will now campaign in Saudi Arabia, in the UAE, no more excuses, in the kafala system. Of course, more broadly, we have work to do in other countries, but I know that the courage and the commitment of the BWI will be there at every step. I also know that during this Congress you will face the big questions about the future of work. Of course, the future of work for us stands tall now. There's no doubt that workers are already experiencing a decent work deficit in their working lives. We need to know that there's investment in jobs, that those jobs are safe, that labour rights wherever people are working are absolutely guaranteed, and that the right to a minimum wage, to collective bargaining and to universal social protection provide them with the security they need. Work is work. And while your industry, over time, like every other industry, will face challenges in construction, of course, with prefabrication, with reshoring of 3D printing, these things will, over time, take their toll. Robotry will have some impact as well. But we have time to work out how it is that we support workers in every endeavour, that we demand investment in jobs, so full employment remains part and parcel of our future. And of course, on the climate front, also part of the future of work deliberation, then your work to rebuild forests, to maintain sustainable forestry, your campaign for the use of wood from a sustainable forestry base that protects forests from deforestation but grows more lungs for the earth and sustainable product. This is indeed, again, leadership in the cause of where jobs will be in the future, what kind of jobs they'll be, and how we fight for them to be, in fact, decent jobs. Jobs with rights, jobs where people can touch a secure future. For the digitalisation world, of course, we say to your colleagues and others involved in the related services that they have a right to collectively organise, to collectively bargain, and we need to look at things like competition policy to ensure that we can build digital cooperatives. This will be important for some of your smaller business ventures in terms of independent workers in the trades. We also know that we can build freelance unions, but we must look at the policy settings and we must demand of our governments that every business must be registered and have a social licence to operate where they take responsibility for the workers in their midst. I wish I could be with you. Unfortunately, it's our General Council and we'll be looking at a lot of these issues. But I know that you will deliberate issues that will bring to the Council of Global Unions, and in partnership with the ITUC, much wisdom and the drive to get on with the campaigns of the future. So indeed, building workers' power, power to the people, taking back our democracies from the threats of the populist right. All of these things are essential if we're going to rebuild trust in a global economy that works for working people. Solidarity, thank you.